Hello, I chose a source image that shows an emotion and I'm ready to talk about the gridding process for portraits. It's just a little different than other pictures we've gridded before. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is get this cropped to the right proportion on my phone. So this is horizontal, so I want a 4:3 ratio. If you have a vertical picture, you want a 3:4 ratio when you're using the crop tool on your phone to get the proportions right so you get squares in the Grid app. Once I'm done cropping, I move it to the Grid app and I want, for a horizontal picture like mine, 9 rows and 12 columns. If it were vertical picture, I would want 12 rows and 9 columns. A lot of times people wind up with rectangles instead of squares, and that's the problem. Okay, done with my grid. I took a screenshot of it and used the markup tool in my editor to add numbers and letters to help me keep track of all those squares. And then I did my drawing. You can see what I did not draw though is the face. I want more reference points for the face because it takes a lot of accuracy to get a good likeness. That just means it looks like the person. So I'm going to do a second grid. Go back to the Grid app, use additional grids, turn that on at the top, go to grid number 2, and then I'm going to double my rows and columns. So now I have 18 rows and 24 columns. I also changed the color of the grid lines so that I can see the difference between my original grid and my new grid. So there it is with the 2 grids on it. You can see the first grid is red, the smaller grid is green. That is a lot to deal with. It's visually confusing, so I'm just gonna crop it down to just those 6 original grid squares where the face from my person should be, and crop it down to that. And then on my final image, I also just draw that extra grid in on those sections where I need more reference points to be able to get an accurate drawing. You can also do this with hands if you need additional help with hands. They can be tricky.